Yo, yo, we're live. Wisconsin Foodie.
What's
Back at you.
up? Hey,
Luke, how's
buddy.
it going? It's been
Uh,
a couple of weeks. It's I've missed seeing you, Luke.
I miss seeing you too, man. It has been a couple weeks, and we definitely upgraded the digs a little bit here.
Yeah, the PBS is really paying off. That contract is
Yeah, yeah. Supported by viewers like you. Dial 1-800-266-3636 with your contributions right now.
Now I
Um,
have to say you did a fantastic job at the pledge drive. I think I had gotten so much, feedback about that, and the biggest bit of feedback that I got was how good you were in between the show. Like they didn't like the show, they just
what?
liked how good you were in between the show. No, I think people loved everything. I think people liked the pledge drive special. If you watched the special and you liked it, throw us a comment in the comments. Comments are live. So if you've got a question for us about the pledge special, about this past week's special, we are here to answer your questions live for the next 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour. We'll see how long this thing
Sure.
goes. Um, but Luke, where are you at right now? What's going on?
Well, I mean, I am. I'm in Los Angeles. Can I just bring something real quick? Like, hold on. Talk to him for a second. I
Yeah,
am.
so pledge drive was last week. We were off the air. Now we're back on the air last night. Wow. What you got? What is that?
That's a Grammy. This is like the real deal for best rock album 2009.
Wow.
So I'm in Butch's studio in LA, and I'm out here. I'm cooking a dinner in Los Angeles this weekend. And the Vigs have been kind enough to host me, and like so my room here in their home, which is a beautiful but modest like California modern home. I'm right next to Butch's studio, and for those of you that don't know, like Butch grew up in Viroqua, so this is an amazing thing. This is like being at my high school and my grade school, like Hero's House, and he produced like Nirvana, Nevermind, and Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream, and Gish, and like all these albums that if you grew up at all in the 1990s,
Man,
you
you're
know.
living the dream.
I am literally living the dream. So we're doing an event tomorrow in the neighborhood. And it's kind of crazy. Like all these circles come back to Wisconsin, which is such an honor. This last week, I put on over 1,000 miles sourcing ingredients for this dinner. So went all the way up to the tip top of Wisconsin and Red Cliff and got fish from the Red Cliff Market. And then all the way back down to Sheboygan to get some of those, fantastic Miesfeld's brats. And like yesterday, um, I had a whole conversation with the gentleman down the street about Miesfeld's brats and how great they were, like kind of unprovoked. So these ingredient sets that I'm bringing with me, while there's like novelty and cachet about them being from the Midwest, they are generally recognized as being the best on
Yeah,
the
man.
planet, and that's
Wisconsin is
awesome.
everywhere. When you travel, you just find Wisconsin everywhere. I
Oh
think the
yeah,
thing that I hear the most about is like New Glarus, spotted cow. People are so intrigued by New Glarus spotted cow.
yeah, they
Um,
love it. They
yeah,
love it.
who doesn't? I mean, I
And who
love
does?
Moonman. Moonman's, I think, one of my particular favorites. New Glarus Brewing, but the spotted cow is just that symbol of pride in Wisconsin, and everybody has a Wisconsin food story when you travel. So
So yeah, today is like this day of like driving around LA and trying to like amass the final ingredients. And then tomorrow, like, and the thing about LA that is just so amazing. How many times can I say LA in this in this slash the thing that's so amazing is when you're around people who sometimes seem larger than life. And then you hang out and you're like, oh, you're just a real person. It's a real cultural check, which is awesome. So
that's how I feel about you whenever I hang out with you, Luke.
oh, he's just a real dude.
Yeah, I mean it's rare for us common people to be mingling with the celebrities and the stars, but yeah, you're a real dude, and you got a real nice haircut too. I like
Hey,
that.
thanks.
Did
Thanks.
you get that out in LA? I mean that looks like
No, this
Maroon
is
Five
Viroqua.
style.
This is Viroqua.
Wow.
Kelsey at Pure Concepts. If you're looking for that great cut, give her a call because she's amazing. Shameless plug.
For those 9 people watching right now,
Yeah,
Kelsey, make the drive. She's amazing. Look at that
he's
do.
amazing.
I think I need to go see her. That's why I got the hat on right now. All right, so Luke, we've been off to the air for 2 weeks. We had our pledge drive special last week, which was just fantastic. That was a whole lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
If you had seen that episode and you're watching this right now, let us know what you guys thought of that. Let us know if you want to see more of that type of episode, because I think we were super into it. That was something new for us, and we want to kind of keep doing more of that style. We want to at least do a couple episodes. We might do another episode like that this year. So if you'd like to see more of that, let us know what farmers market you'd like to see us stop at. The world is our oyster. We're even thinking about bouncing maybe to Minnesota to give it a shot. So the world is wide open with that one. But we had a lot of fun, and by the sound of it, and I think people really enjoyed that pledge drive. And I think PBS, it was a success for PBS.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of questions why we haven't posted on YouTube, and the answer to that is that PBS commissioned us to do that as a special. So we wanted to make sure that they got all the attention for the episode before we put it out, to the world, to our YouTube world. We wanted to make sure that everybody, was able to see that and to call in and to pledge support for their local PBS station, which I think is extremely valuable. And you can donate anytime. You don't need to wait till it's pledge drive time. You can donate right now if you'd like, and we would recommend you do that, because if it wasn't for them, Wisconsin Foodie wouldn't be on TV, and Luke wouldn't be sitting in LA right now. So.
1-800-266-3636. Call now with your contributions.
Memorized.
Oh gosh.
And so then it brings us to this week, which was a bit of a shocker for me, because we were supposed to be off the air for 3 weeks, and we found out last minute that we were on this week. So we weren't able to jump on the promoting of this episode like we wanted to. But I have to say, it was one of my favorite episodes of the season. When I met Martice and his family through the Deer District Farmers Market, which is full disclosure and transparency, a market that I helped start. When I met Martice, I was just like, I think we sat by our cars at the end of the night one night and just kind of talked and talked and talked. And I was just blown away by him. I was just so impressed with who he was and what his goals were and what his vision was. I said, whatever I can do to help support this guy and his family, I want to do. And whether it be with the Deer District Market or Wisconsin Foodie, I felt like his story needed to be told. It's such a valuable story, and he's such an important role model for a lot of people, especially young people in Milwaukee. I think he is a terrific role model, terrific example, and I think we're talking a lot about him, but how about we get Martice out here right now?
That sounds great.
Martice, welcome to the show.
Thank you. How y'all doing today?
Oh, doing great, man. It's Friday. It's the weather's starting to get a little nicer. And I'm sure you're starting to think about getting back outdoors and starting to plant, right?
Yes, but we have to be real careful about that because we're in a false spring right now. So if we get out there and start doing what I really want to do, we're gonna have some failures. But it is good to get out there right now and break the cabin fever and get that important vitamin D from the sun. Not just because most people have been cooped up in the house, but there's many more benefits that the sun provides us. So that's my soapbox moment. Get outside, get some fresh air, and be happy, or at least try.
It's amazing how that sunlight just changes your whole demeanor and perspective, like on life. I remember that day, it was like 60, 65 degrees. I have not been that happy in in like 6 months. It just like flipped. They like flipped everything, and it was like the perfect sort of drug, or it was the perfect just the perfect thing at the time. And so I'm carrying that in the back of my mind, and I just know now that it's going to get there. Luke, what's the temperature right now in LA? What are you feeling out there?
It's like kind of perfect and 80.
Oh,
it's just, and that's the thing. Like, as I was walking around in the neighborhood last night, I was talking to the folks who are hosting me, the Vigs, and I was like, you can't really describe how that first warm spring day changes all of our psyche in the Midwest. It's just like this snap. And you kind of hit it on the head there, Arthur. Like, oh my gosh, I can survive this, or I have survived it. And like, we are now in this process, we can endure just about anything for a little bit. But I don't think people, specifically on the West Coast, they don't ever have that, Maybe you have 2 or 3 days of bad weather in the same amount of time that we have like 2 or 3 days of good weather. It's just completely inverted. So, it's no wonder that we're hardy people. But Martice, I want to ask you a question. Like, what's the thing you look forward to the most in starting your farming season? Like, what is it?
The most. That's hard to say what I want to do the most, but um, I know for me, this year, we'll talk about that later, but this year we're doing some new things.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, what I want to do most when it comes to farming is the chickens. They'll be delivered soon. So that's what I want to do most. And in that, just watching my wife and my sons hold those chicks for the first time, I know that at the end of life, those are likely to be memories that pop up for me. So just seeing that in real time and knowing that that's going to be one of those memories that hopefully carries me when I'm done with this body. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. So where are you guys going to have the chickens? Out in the Mequon Nature Preserve at your house?
Yep, we'll have them at the nature preserve, but we can't take them out there quite yet. So we have to figure that all out. They have to fully feather out, and I have to um, fully protect them because we are on a nature preserve. There's coyotes, skunk, possum, raccoon, humans, all those things that like to eat chicken. So I have to protect them properly before I take them out there. But they will live out there in a large enclosure. I can't free range them because not only are those ground predators, there's a lot of aerial predators as well. So we have to have a nearly bulletproof coop and run. But I can't wait to get them out there and watch the boys interact with the chickens, and hopefully that'll be something they continue to do later on in life. That
Now, are
I'm
you guys
trying
going
to
to
get
do
them their own thing.
are you guys going to do chickens or eggs? Like, is the main focus going to be chicken meat or eggs?
We're going to do both. So we're going to have about 100 layers, and then we'll do batches of 50 broilers, which will only take between 7 and 9 weeks from one day old to processing weight. And then we're going to invite the community to come and learn how to process those birds. So again, everything that Amy and I do, we do because we want to learn it, but we also know that these are skills that our grandparents, our great grandparents, and all of our ancestors before that had to know to survive. And we want to teach the community how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
great.
one of the questions that I have for you, Martice, when we talk to other farmers or we've talked to farmers in the past, there's always this sense of community that it's a shared knowledge base. And when there's an individual, or like a family like you and Amy who are growing their farming opportunities, they're taking on new tasks, it's been the tradition for a lot of folks that there's a community behind them. Can you talk to me a little bit, like when you're taking on a new endeavor, like chickens, broilers, and egg layers, what's the community that surrounds the farm look like?
Oh, that's a good question, and one of the I'll start with the community that I don't even necessarily see. There's a lot of people who are rooting for us, uh, but they root for us like in our wake, right? So we don't see that. So there's people that are watching what we do, and we don't even know that they're there. But then we have people like Venus Williams, who's I, I feel like she has like extra vertebrae. All the weight that she carries the whole community. She's like the community mom. She's there to encourage you, support you, but also let you know when she knows you can do more, and she'll help you get there. And then, Steven at the farm. Then we have Earthseed, which Jaws is part of, and then Ayuda Mutual, which Chauchu was part of. You saw both of those in those in the episode. But more than that, we have family, we have friends, and we have people that are connected to our healing services that were not necessarily interested in the farming side of it before they started working with us. And now, those that customer base has blended, right? And then Mequon Nature Preserve and Foodie itself, we're partnering with. So this year, while we bring the birds on, we'll be partnering with Mequon Nature Preserve and Foodie to do tours and whatnot, and let them let the people that they have in their classes and whatnot come and see the birds. We'll have to be there, of course, but what we're doing, community for us is way more than the individuals that we directly speak to or service. It's really for me personally, it's anybody that has an inclination that they want to learn, but they don't know where to start that. And you are part of my community, and we try to be accessible as much as possible, but keeping some kind of boundaries. We do have a lot of work to do, but we want to be as accessible as we can without harming the operation or burning ourselves out, which Amy's much better at reminding me of. And that's one of the things I appreciate her for, the 17 trillion things. She definitely will
Yeah,
let me
Amy
know.
is fantastic.
Mhm.
When we started shooting, when we shot this, you guys were known as Scales Family Farm, and now you've transitioned to Full Circle Healing Farm. Can you
Mhm.
talk about why you decided to make that transition and what that means to you and what that name means to you and kind of what your that umbrella is going to look like now?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we were Scales Family Farm, but it's unfair. Amy's last name isn't Scales. So first and foremost, that felt exclusive to her, right? But also we had a nonprofit that was just called Full Circle Healing, where we did healing and social justice stuff. And the plan was always to connect them in some way. But I'm not willing to farm nonprofit. So we let the nonprofit status lapse, and now they're together. So it's not just racial justice; it's social justice and food justice as well. And all of those are quite large umbrellas, and there's a whole lot that goes under those things. Um, but really, what we wanted to do is to speak to all the things that we're passionate about and we know a little bit of about and provide the community with all those services. So I may give you Reiki, and you may come to the farm and get your hands in the dirt and realize that also has a therapeutic kind of that doing that forms a therapeutic kind of relationship. Getting your hands in the dirt scientifically has been proven to help you and grounding itself. Or you may be a someone who bought something from us like a body care item, but later on you realize that you needed some kind of mental health services. Amy's a licensed professional counselor. So really what we're trying to do is we're trying to address as many needs in the community as we can, because the community needs a lot. And another thing that we want to do is we want to take the classism out of self care. So we want to provide people with these services that traditionally you really only think of receiving if you had a certain kind of economic status. We don't turn people away for in our healing and social justice programming because you can't pay. We try to work with you because even if you can't financially afford it, you deserve it by virtue of being a human on this earth.
Man, that's really great work. That's incredible. I mean, thank you for everything that you do. I mean, it's really important work, and there's not a lot of people out there doing what you're doing. So really, man, it's so valuable. Really very appreciative of everything that you put into this community, and hopefully this episode of Foodie gives you that attention that you deserve, because I think, on one hand you could be doing all this, but you also need the community to know about it. You need that, the marketing end of things. You need people to talk about it. So hopefully this gets the conversation started, and it gives you the eyeballs, and it gives you that voice that you need in our community to lead. So thank you, Martice, for everything that you do, and Amy, honestly, the whole family.
Mm-hmm. We just try to do what we try to do. We feel called, as I say in the episode. So even if we didn't want to do it, we'd end up having to do it.
Yeah. So what? So if to get back to the food element of things, you're doing chickens this year. You're going to do eggs this year. Let's talk about that produce and the pickles. Is that something you're still going to offer? And I remember, so the other thing when we filmed this episode, I mean, Martice was going through tough times at the farm. The farm was a tough one last year, and we talked about it. And I think the show made it look really great, but there was a lot of produce that he was struggling to get up, and it was the land was really tough because he just started to farm on that land. So it was just flipping the soil and getting that soil to that right mix. Martice, talk a little bit about where the farm was last year and where you expect it to be this year, and maybe more of the offerings that you expect to bring to the market.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm really appreciative of, the way that you guys showed it. But I do want people to know that 2021 for us was the year of failure, right? I was very close to saying no to you guys' invite to come to the farm because I was embarrassed at how it was the year of failure, and I could tell early on that. But in that, I learned that that was a year to really figure out if Amy and I were really, really, really called to farm. And because if we were not, it was a great exit year. Like, this is why I don't want to do this. This sucks. But it was a bad drought. The Canadian thistle was real thistly, and it was hard. So there was a lot of failure, and I want people to realize in farming, you lose a lot, even on good years. You are going to lose a lot, but the thing is, whatever it is you gain is worth it, even if it's only a small amount in comparison to what you expect. It's not just stuff that you sell; it's also the self-care. So yeah, it was tough. But this year we did get a grant from Hunger, which will enable us to not only get the chickens, but we're going to have 3 hoop houses that 3 caterpillar tunnels that we've already ordered and should be here in a week or two. And we will be buying a truck, and we'll have a mobile irrigation system, because we were bucketing 5-gallon totes of water. Even though we did get IBC totes at the end of the field, the field is 560 some feet long, and the rows are, going the short way, they're 65 feet. And I don't know how many of the viewers use 5-gallon buckets of water. One is not much at all, but after a few trips, it gets real old. So we'll have a system that we can actually pull along the aisle, and we'll have a hose attachment, basically, where we will take advantage of mechanics and basically pump it out. So we'll become way more drought tolerant, because my expectation is that Mother Nature may disagree with my planting schedule, and instead of me trying to curse her out, I'll say, okay, I'm a do this though, and you just let me know when we on the same page, and we can go from there. So this year we will be planting way more intensively. This year we will have back straining composting system. So we are going to make raised beds that are about 8 inches deep. And we don't intend to really plant directly into the native soil. We're actually going to use silage tarps to basically keep the stuff under from germinating, because there's just too much of it. We can't spend more time weeding than cultivating or planting. It doesn't make sense. So we'll have that, and we'll have the birds. And through this grant, we'll probably be able to offer, really limited time and part-time work to hopefully to youths to come and learn alongside Amy and I. And that will also be able to boost our production, and we'll have Tochi and we'll have Jaws on the field as well, and they'll have their own dedicated spots this year. Last year they didn't. This year we wanted to make room for them, so we did that. So they'll have their own spots. Earthseed will live there, and then with Chauchi, I'm not sure if it'll be either mutual or if they're going to do something different, but they'll have a spot there as well.
Nice. I don't know what's going on in Arthur's background. He might be like fighting a dragon or something at this point. It kind of sounds.
I'm fighting like a small puppy. That's
yeah, it's a dragon. Yeah, that is a really furry dragon.
Super furry dragon.
She decided now's the moment. She's just needs to bite and play with everything. Use the bathroom. You can't win when you got a puppy here. But thank you guys. I apologize that I had to step out like that. But
no, you're totally fine.
Yeah.
I wanna ask you, like, how has your family like changed and grown and shifted since you started farming? I mean, watching you and your boys running in the field and like actually just being alive and vibrant on the farm. It looked like a spot that was really, really rejuvenating for a lot of reasons. But how has that interaction with the soil and that sense of place, shaped your family unit as a whole?
It's kind of like thinking about that. It almost feels like when you start a new exercise routine, right? You don't really notice the gains until you've gained. You had massive gains, right? But looking back at it, our oldest son is about to be 7. He's not all that jazzed about being on the farm all the time, but that's because we used to give him technology a lot when he was on the farm, so he comes to expect that. And now Daddy's the mean daddy, and he's trying to not give him technology and make him do some work. That's another reason why I want to do the chickens, because I think he'll be interested in dealing with something that can actually interact with him. Our youngest is he just turned 3. This is all he knows, right? And I didn't know it when I felt the call, but Amy had always been interested in being a farmer, but she was told that they don't make money, right? So I feel that as a whole, summertime is a really hard work time, but I think each of us in our own ways we've grown that muscle to be able to deal with it more than we did in the past. We still don't have a good balance between work life when it comes to farming, but I'm not sure how many farmers without lots of employees have figured that out. But we're really trying to figure that out so the boys can do camping and stuff like that. That's another thing that we want to do, is we want to be out in nature and not have it to always cultivate it ourselves. So I think it's made us all stronger, and I think it makes us all appreciate the warmer months even more. And for me personally, it feels like we don't have enough of those warm months of the year. We have plenty of the cold ones, but we don't have enough of the outside without protection crop growing months. But that's just me. Amy's better with fall and spring. I want the 80s, 90s. Give me triple digits when it comes to the heat, and I'm cool. So I think it's made us all stronger. But I do sometimes feel like I'm not spending enough time with my littles specifically because there's so much going on in the summertime, and I got into this to spend more time with them. So I personally have to figure that out, and I mean quality time, not them being in proximity, but I mean them having my full attention and in intention. Um, I need to figure that out because I notice I notice when my pop wasn't around. I want them to only know that secondhand, never firsthand.
I believe in you, man. You're such a thoughtful person. I think every time, every interaction that we've had, you're just so thoughtful and
It's
you're
not all
being
the time, Arthur.
no, man, come on.
Amy will tell you.
You're thoughtful, you're caring, you're smart,
Mhm.
and you will definitely get that figured out. But I think the experience those boys are going to have on the farm, and seeing you work like that is just so invaluable. And it'll come together. Especially they got that cribs, that house out there, man. That what is that? 17,000
17,000
square
square feet.
17,000 square foot house, man.
Man, look. They got a mansion. You know how many people have reached out and said that was their favorite part of the episode. And you know what's funny is that's how I felt. The most excitement they've had for that crib was the day they saw it the first time.
Yeah.
After that, it was just a part of the farm. They're much more excited about the rock pile in the aisle than anything else. They'll be on the rock pile for hours and happy and completely neglect that multiple $100 crib that Amy insisted we got, and it was a good idea to get it, and that we built for them. Um, but we'll probably end up buying something else as well because them are those are our minis, and I want them around. Now I'm trying not to make them work because I don't want them to hate
Yeah.
being on the farm because I want them to choose when they're able to do this or not to. And if they choose not to, it's not because mom and dad forced them to.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's
but
really
that's
funny
just
that we get a lot of comments about the outtakes in our show, and I feel like we get more attention from the outtakes than we do in the actual show.
We should just
People
make a
just
show
love
of
to,
outtakes.
yeah, they love.
yeah.
Maybe we should just reverse it. We'll just do 20 some odd minutes of outtakes, and then just like a minute of the real stuff.
Yeah.
We got a
Well, I
question though
like the
for you.
blooper ribs, blooper
Yeah,
reels, like a whole show of bloopers. That would actually be really cool.
I know. That's what we should do for YouTube. It should just be everything behind the scenes because that's
Hmm.
real magic. We've got Morgan Sisson. Morgan, I apologize if that's not how you pronounce your last name, but she's asking, will you have raised bed? Will your raised beds be in the caterpillar tunnel?
Yeah. Well, thank you for the question. You said Morgan, right?
Morgan, yep.
Yep. They will also be in raised beds, but they won't be necessarily permanent beds. I won't put them in wood. We'll just build them up. But in the tunnels, we'll have the landscape fabric to keep the Canadian thistle from coming up, and our beds will be built on top of that. And then we'll find some way to tamp them down to make them as even as possible. But we'll be planting in a raised system inside the tunnels as well.
Yeah, that's cool. I love your rage. What is it? The rage pile, or what did you call that?
Yeah, that was our first infrastructure as far as um, uh, like protected and a thunderstorm took it down. And the funny thing is, I knew it was going to come down, so I came home and I went back out there, and Mother Nature waited for me to completely destroy it, so I got to watch it happen. Um, so, yeah, so I didn't move that off of the farm. Now, what we're going to use some of that metal. I'll cut that. I'll use a grinder and cut those up, and those would be stakes of some kind or markers.
Oh, gotcha.
But I did allow people if they needed to rage, see and get to be he man, he woman, or he person, see if you can bend the metal.
Yeah.
Um, But yes, the rage pile, we had to make something else for a rage pile, kind of like a screen room, but I don't think the neighbors will like the screen room, so we'll keep the rage pile going. And my boys will probably be the first ones to use it.
Now, Martice, have you ever thought about another question from Morgan? Just following up on it, she has another question. Thank you, Morgan, for your questions here. It's awesome. But she's asking, have you thought of goats to help with the thistle?
I did, yes. Thank you, Morgan. Goats are like Houdinis, though. They find ways to get out. We are on a road, and if that wasn't enough, I am sandwiched between other farmers. Goats also eat what they want, and they won't stop at my plot. So that's a risk I can't take. So if there's nothing else, there's no way for me to be sure that even if I pin them up, they won't get out, and I don't have pasture. And unlike the chickens, goats can eat quite a bit, and they need way more space. Um, and without pasture, I'm not sure if I feel comfortable having them on the plot. Um, I think goats kind of need to be able. They're grazers, so. I could feed them all the hay all day, but I don't think they will dig, not having any grass.
Yeah.
But yes, they will absolutely eat the thistle. But I can't raise them, and I got to get permission for any livestock. I have to get permission to actually have them out. I wanted to do a couple pigs, but I think Amy conspired against me on that one. So we can't get this season. But first and foremost, Amy's my equal. I have to get her on board, and then we'll go and ask after that. She wasn't really ready for that, so
yeah.
Even if I was, if she's not, then we can't do it. We shouldn't do it. I shouldn't do it because I'm going to need her help doing everything.
And you got new chickens, though. That's pretty good.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
There's a small win there.
Yeah, but she thinks they're cute. She's not going to be processing any of the birds.
Yeah.
But she thinks they're cute, and she won't have anything to do with anything that involves culling. So that's
Martice, how can people find out more about what you're doing? Volunteer to help you out on the farm? I know you accept some volunteers. You've got a lot going on, which is incredible. But how do people find out more about what's going on? Where can they go, and how can they find you?
Yeah, so they can, if they have questions, they can shoot us an email. It's Full Circle Healing MKE, as in Milwaukee, at Gmail. You can also find us on our website, fullcirclehealing.org, or you can find us on social. We're most active on Facebook and Instagram, and that's just Full Circle Healing. We do have a TikTok. We ain't uploading nothing on that, but I know we will have content, especially once these birds get here. We'll start using that too. But I do not know how to use any kind of chat function on that, and I'm not sure if Amy does either. So I will go with the Instagram or the Facebook at least to start with. Until you start seeing really cool things from our TikTok, just assume we're not sure what we're doing.
And what about farmers markets? Where can people find you guys this year for farmers markets?
Yeah, so we'll be at Shorewood, 3 of the 4 in the four Sunday months. We'll be at the Shorewood Market, 3 of those 4. Then we'll be at the River West Market, and then you can find us online. We have all kinds of other markets. I'm already tired thinking of them, but we have lots of other markets that we'll be part of, whether it's farmers market or crafters markets, because we not only grow food, we do the apothecary as well. And at most of those places, we'll have a mixture of both of those things.
Oh, Deer District? How about that? Will you be at the Deer District this year?
Deer District, I was going to say last, because most people should know if they watch the episode. We are going to be at the Deer District in July on Thursdays, and there we'll have produce, and we'll have the apothecary stuff. And by that time, I'm not sure if I'll have eggs yet, because I'm getting day-old chicks at the beginning of April. You know, they take 5-6 months before they
Mhm.
start laying.
Fantastic. I was talking to Venus yesterday, and she said that you guys are doing some really cool stuff. There was a church that was donated to the group.
Hmm.
Maybe just tell us a little bit about that too, because she wants me to stop by, and I really want to come by for. They're doing fish fry. Is that like Friday fish fries? That's what I hear?
Anomaly Catering.
Yeah.
Okay, so check this out. On Fridays, now you got to pre-order. I'm telling you right now, don't just show up. Pre-order, because you
Yeah.
show up, the whole city's already there. You're gonna be able to smell it, but you can't really taste a
Oh
smell.
man, that's a good
Okay,
tip. Venus didn't tell me this.
you can't really taste it. And this food with Chef Blake and Anomalous, what they do and they staff, you definitely want to taste it, right? And
Mm.
those are on Fridays. Pre-orders open at 5, and then you can do the walk-in at 6. But again, you take your risk if you want to. I
Yeah.
wouldn't, and I'm a tenant of the building. I wouldn't take the risk. But that's on Fridays. Uh, Big plates, lots of sides. You definitely want to do that.
And
But
where is
it
that?
is
Can
the
you let people know what church that is or where that's
Yep.
at?
Yep, it's the Lutheran Church on 54th and Capitol. It's now going to be the Table Vocational Center. So it's right by Next Door Foundation and all of that. And there's us. We share a suite with Yoga Flow Wellness. She'll do yoga. I think she's going to also have some people doing Zumba and other body stuff. Then there's Mystic Phoenix Art. There's Venus doing her spiritual guidance, her Alice's Garden, and her other million jobs. There's Kofi Collection, Demetrius, who's married to Venus, and then Anomaly Catering, who not only does the catering, they will have two or three programs specifically for kids, including kids that are on the spectrum. We definitely need that. They're doing all kinds of training to make sure that they provide the right kind of services for the students that have those extra needs. And then they have all kinds of tech stuff they'll do with kids too, like create NFTs and all of this. Mind
Man, that
boggling.
sounds so cool. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm making it a point. I'm gonna go there next Friday. I'm gonna be around, so hopefully you're out there. I can see you out there. Maybe I'll come a little early so I can check out the space,
Hmm.
hang out with Venus a little while. But that sounds like my jam, man. I can't wait. And
Hmm.
I love Venus. Venus is like, man, when I need like the hug from Venus can change your day. She's just a fantastic human. Got such a great spirit. She is literally, the mayor of Milwaukee. She's making things happen in the city, and
Hmm.
man, she is fantastic. We should be
And
putting
she's
her.
not done.
No, I know.
She's
She's
not
just getting
done.
started. To be honest with
There's
you,
so much going on. Like, she's not done.
her kids are
Venus,
cool. Everything,
yeah,
everything that comes from that
everything.
woman is legit, man. Is cool. So I love me some Venus.
Hmm.
Cannot wait to see her at the Shorewood Farmers Market and the Deer District Market this year.
Hmm.
That's just both those markets are fantastic, and that just helps my sanity being at those markets. Uh, Martice, it's been a true pleasure, my friend, and I hope you get the love and the spotlight you deserve from this episode. It'll be airing a couple more times so people can catch it there. They can also go to our YouTube channel, Wisconsin Foodie YouTube /Wisconsin Foodie. Subscribe to our channel. You'll get episodes before everybody else, but you can watch Martice's episode over and over and over again, and because it's well worth the watch. I would assume this is going to be one that will be up for awards this year just because of the content. The story is just so fantastic, and I look forward to sharing it with as many people as possible. So there's 11 people left here watching. Usually what we like to do at the end of the show here is give people a little preview of what's coming next week. So Martice, if you're interested, I'm going to play that right now, and people can get a little glimpse of next week's episode before anybody else does. So
Okay.
I'm gonna let that sucker roll right now.
On Wisconsin Foodie.
Zagoli Sugwake, Yo-Yosto Yo-Walyats Nuyaks. My name is Laura Manthe. My Oneida name is She Goes Over the Clouds. So this is our first year growing our heirloom white corn on this site. Look at this beauty. That is a lovely cob right there. My feeling is that I'm reestablishing my relationship with this corn. This corn is part of our DNA.
What we're doing today is checking out if any of these are contenders for seed cobs. So So we would go through and select these out, and this cob has the kernels that will bring forth the next generations of our corn. It takes a lot of cobs just to fit into one jar, and it takes about 1 hour's worth of work will get you 2 pounds of corn. There's a lot of work that goes into this, but it's really a labor of love.
So what are we doing in your kitchen?
I'm going to show you how to process white corn.
It smells delicious. It makes sense to me why you go through so much work and preparation and take so much care to have this corn come to this point. It truly is more than eating a bowl of soup. It feels like you're being woven into a very large story, a very beautiful story.
I like that.
And it tastes really good.
Wisconsin Foodie would like to thank the following underwriters.
Yeah, man, that's going to be a great
good one.
episode. I'm so excited. It's man, what a cool story that is, Luke, and people are going to love that episode.
Yeah.
The outtakes are pretty great though too. The outtakes of, when Arthur is not on a shoot, there's always some great outtakes. And I was not unfortunately at that particular shoot, so that was a real treat to go through and edit. And I'm surprised you guys made it through it without me, but you did, and it's an episode, and it's gorgeous, and you did a fantastic job. So next week episode is going to be another banger. It's going to be an awesome episode.
Awesome.
Well,
Martice, it's so good to see you. You are a beautiful human, and I hope that all the amazing things in life that you are putting forward for other people, I know actually that they're going to come back to you exponentially. What you're doing for your family, for your community, for the entire state of Wisconsin is truly humbling. And I see you. I am so excited to be affiliated with you and your work. And we're here for you anytime we can to shout from the rooftops how amazing your farming operation, your community operation, all those things really are. Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. I didn't know what to expect. And then watching it, I was really, really pleased. And everybody that's connected said they really, really enjoyed it. So kudos to you guys on making it. And I feel like we were done more than justice. So I really appreciate that. That's thank you. It was awesome. It was odd to see ourselves on TV.
I know, man. I know.
But it was
That's
cool.
why I'm behind the scenes, man. That's why I hold the camera. I don't want to see myself on TV.
Every week I go through that, like,
Oh man,
I have to
that's
say
so
that.
great. Cool. Well, hey, it was fantastic. Thanks for picking up the phone and letting us come to the farm. Thanks for picking up the phone and coming on this live stream, Martice. Looking forward to the summer, catching up soon over a fish fry over at the church. And bright. The future is bright. It's going to be a good season. It's going to be a good year. And I look forward to hanging with you soon, Martice.
Perfect. Thank you. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah,
we got to
buddy.
make it a good one.
All right, cool. Well, have a good one, Luke. Hey, kill it out in LA. Make sure that you represent Wisconsin and that everybody knows that they're just living in a dream where Wisconsin's the real deal, baby. Come on. All right.
Right.
Bring them back.
Here.
All right, guys. Take care.